It's all a lie. But the media are going to run with the lie to try and portray Ron DeSantis as a racist. This is the dumbest thing.
There is a brawl brewing before our very eyes.
Here is Stephen A. Smith going after Ron DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis, you don't need to be governor. You don't need to be president either. The battles that he's fighting are just unconscionable. Why is the governor concerning himself with African-American studies?
Between centrist Stephen A. Smith and conservative Ben Shapiro. They went back and forth on Governor Ron DeSantis' new plan for teaching black history in Florida.
One rule that teachers must now follow requires middle school students to learn, quote, how slaves developed skills, which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit.
And that during lessons about mob violence against black residents, teachers should include acts of violence perpetrated against and by African Americans.
This would be akin to saying that Native American people, when we teach their history, we should not only talk about the smallpox blankets that were distributed by the Pilgrims, but the attempt of Native Americans to defend themselves that was equally violent. This would be like teaching the Holocaust, saying that there were some good things that Jewish brothers and sisters picked up in those death camps that, should they survive, would be helpful for them to make their way in life.
Thus, Smith rejected it.
It says here, because I want to make sure that I'm quoting it correctly, bars and structures in schools that suggest anyone is privileged or oppressed based on their race or skin color. Are you trying to deny the fact that white folks have been privileged compared to other races of people in this country? Are you kidding me? That is a fact that even white folks haven't denied. Of course, there are people in this country who have been oppressed.
Shapiro saw this and reacted.
Can we stop it right there? Stephen, have been and are not the same thing. Of course, white people were privileged based on their race in 1960. Are they privileged based on their race in 2023?
Yes. Yes. Georgetown University found at every level of education, white folks make more than black Americans. In a study published May 4th of 2020, citing 100 million traffic stops, the results were the following. Black drivers were far more likely to be pulled over than white drivers. You know what else they uncovered? We found that black drivers were less likely to be stopped after sunset when a veil of darkness masks one's race, suggesting bias in stop decisions. But there's more.
Erica Parker believes this family photo cost her $100,000.
So we were expecting our house to appraise for the mid 500s.
And what did you get?
$465.
Parker and her husband Aaron sought another appraisal from a different appraiser.
Right here on that picture wall.
This time stripping all references to their blackness and asking their white realtor to act as the homeowner. The whitewashed appraisal amount, $557,000, nearly $100,000 more.
But it's not just the Parkers. A 2021 study by Freddie Mac found that black and Latino homeowners are about twice as likely as whites to get low appraisals. More. Among white students admitted to Harvard, 43% received a preference for athletics, legacy status, being on the dean's list, or for being the child of a faculty or staff member, and without those advantages, 3/4 would have been rejected. So how does Shapiro fight the white privilege argument?
I don't know, Stephen A. Smith, since you have a $13 million a year salary from ESPN. $13 million a year, this dude, sitting here talking about how rough black people have it in the United States compared to white people overall in the United States.
By saying Stephen A. is rich. Shapiro is likely taking notes from this guy.
Racism is an issue in America, but it is primarily an issue for the poor. And LeBron needs to quit embracing his victimhood because he's not a victim.
Preposterous. And he was checked at least once for it.
Pointing out obstacles and facts is not embracing
obstacle here.
That's an obstacle. It's an obstacle white people in America don't have to deal with. LeBron James clearly does not think of himself.
Man just said,
can I finish?
Yes, you can.
I sat
And it is
listening
still
to your
my
spiel.
show, Chris.
I don't care whose show it is.
Someone spray painting something on a millionaire's home.
He's not a victim in that situation?
Hell no.
This is the message from the OANs, the Blaze, the Daily Wires, etc. Embarrassing, but par for the course.